and girls, friends and family. We're rocking out here. We're going to do a little test with the layout for you guys to look at here. Post your questions if you have any. Sina and I have come up with 4 generic breakouts that you can do on this field. Obviously, there's a million things you can do, and I'm going to just kind of talk about what we've drawn up on the screen behind me. But please, in the comments section, if you have any questions about the layout and breakouts that you've done to prepare for last weekend and then this coming weekend, please post them in there, and Sina will feed those to me. But we'll start with just a basic breakout right here. The X's are your 5 guys where you'd be going for your primary. 1 guy in the back center, and this is up to you, obviously, if you want to shoot left or right. That's always an option. And then your other 4 guys, we're going to the snake corner in this one because I think in this layout, he has the best vantage point for looking up the middle to see the runner going up to the wall. So back center, he gets to choose which way he wants to shoot. You're going to the can and the tower off the snake side and the Dorito side, respectively, playing heads up, looking straight up, looking for those runners going out. And then your snake corner is looking in off the break to look for that runner going up to the wall or up to this tower. And then he's going to play heads up down the snake side because in this corner you can see all the way down the tape. You're not obstructed by these mini walls, and you can control the tape should that player, that if he goes to the snake on the break, comes around. On the Dorito side, the farthest you're going to go is to the Dorito 1. Again, running and shooting. For practice, there's no reason not to. And again, when you do that, when you come here, you're going to have a good vantage point through this window looking back up the center. If your opponents go to the second can, if they decide to come up through the middle using this pin to block out a lane to go to the wall. So in this breakout, the most important thing is all 5 bodies are heads up and shooting straight down the field. Again, the back center, choose any way you want to shoot. But make sure you know with your guys that, hey, this is the way I'm shooting, and say if I'm shooting towards the snake side off the break and they go into the god or whatever you want to call the snake entrance bunker, that you're going to hold that lane and allow your snake tower or snake corner to make the move to progress down the field. On the flip side of things, you can also always change this layout up, or excuse me, this breakout up, and have your Dorito 1 player go to the corner, and you could bring your snake corner in to the god instead of going to that corner. Again, your Dorito corner player is looking up the middle. The reason why I had this play set up for the snake corner is so that that player can look up the middle to look for the wall presence. Cool? Any questions, comments, or concerns? How are we looking?
We are good.
We're good? No questions yet?
No questions yet.
All right, well, shout out to all those people that want shout outs to wherever you're from watching. I like that. So we'll move on to play 2. So play 2 is a wall play. I don't particularly care how you get there. Again, you have a back center on the break, choosing to shoot a certain route depending on which way the player going up to the wall feels most comfortable. For this, for the sake of this, we'll say that the player going up to the wall is shooting to the right side towards the snake. So he's in a shadow up towards the center tower, shooting towards the snake. That would let your back center player shoot left towards the Doritos. At the same time, we'll get that drawn up there. As you say, great range from the back center to the Dorito side on the corner, and both the Dorito 1 and the Dorito 2. Your X player is running up right towards the snake side, shooting right. You've got a player going to the god. You want some presence over there to draw those guns out, shooting that way. And then once, say, this player is established that the wall player is there and covering that zone, he can either bait the opposing player to try and make the snake move, so your wall player shoots him, or he just battles it out to contain as well. As long as that communication is really good there, you can set up a good 1-2 punch. Moving to the Dorito side, your player going to the Dorito can. He can go there right away and shoot. Heads up. I would suggest getting there because you're sending a player to the Dorito 1 and just putting a lane either on the corner or the Dorito 2 in between that gap. Not so much worrying about your mirror, but just kind of sitting deep off that and shooting left. And then you've got a Dorito 1 guy who, as he goes out, he's also looking for those people up the middle as he comes across. But then he's going to put that lane immediately up on the corner and then look to make the move into the Dorito 2. Now, it looks kind of complex here, but it really isn't. I mean, it's the simplicity of just setting up a play where you're 5 guys, you know exactly what each person's going to do, and you stick to that game plan. So after the game plan, or after the point happens and you're walking off to the pit, you're picking up your pods, you guys can come together and say, hey, so did everyone do what they were supposed to do off the break? Did I go up running and shooting right to the wall and stay that way? And did I work with my snake player to bait the guy to go? If that didn't work, you can always switch it up. So your back center player is shooting right, along with your wall player, right? Your back center player shoots for the corner. Your wall player shoots for the snake the snake on the break, so he shoots low or he shoots for the god, the snake entrance. And then you make sure that your guy makes it alive on the snake side. And once that happens, you can use a code word, abracadabra, to establish that, hey, we're in our spots, we've got our lanes. The back center player can then switch to the Dorito side. Any questions? How are we doing?
Keep going.
Keep going?
Yeah.
Not a soul has a question. You guys all played this layout flawlessly? I like that. I did too. Thanks, Boom. All right, so play 3. Play 3 is a snake push. Okay. On the snake push play, the obvious thing is going to the snake on the break. Let's make this other team shoot you. I ran and shot to the snake on the break at practice this past weekend. So if I can do it, you can do it. And I don't care who you are. But you're going to run and shoot, as our wonderful demonstration has it right there. All the way to the snake. You're going to get in there. Along with making your way down the snake. Cena's having way too much fun with this. I like it. We're going to have to change these icons to different things. I'll have to get like Cena's head, and we'll have to make that. Oh, that would be fun for next time. We'll have to make individuals' heads, like Keith Brown or something, like moving his way through the snake. But you're going to go to the snake on the break as well as the corner. The snake player is going to focus primarily on what's in front of him when he runs there. You keep your head up, man. You want to see if your opponent, 1, takes a corner, and 2, takes a snake. If they're not in the corner of the snake, you have a quick move either on the inside through the mini wall or on the tape to go to the next snake knuckle, right? The only thing that's really going to mess you up is if you go too high and there's a wall or a center tower. And that's where your guy going to the snake corner is going to be looking inside as he runs out that way and is going to immediately make that call, either no wall or there's a wall, or say whatever you want to name this center tower. On the flip side of this, or not the flip side, but going back to the third player in this game plan, he's going to go to the tower playing heads up. So that's a third shooter on the break.
Which one is shooting heads up?
Your tower. Snake tower is going to play heads up. Right away, I would say that he's going to shoot, as soon as he's running out, I want this player going to the snake tower to shoot for the god. Back center is going to shoot his lane.
Which god is that?
God is the Aztec, yeah. So he's going to shoot to the inside of that on the break. He's going to run out, running and shooting, putting paint over the pins in front of the god. Your back center player is going to shoot right towards the snake side, and he's going to put his paint either for the corner or for the snake. You've got to make a choice. It's one or the other. But your lane essentially is going to go straight through there. And then you've got Lone Soldier over here in the Dorito can. And he's going to go out there shooting heads up. As soon as you get to this can, what you're going to want to do is check off on your mirror down the tape. Put a couple balls on him. If you see that they make the corner or the Dorito 1, you're immediately going to want to jump from the can into the Dorito 1 to draw that body out wide. And from there, the back center
Where is he shooting off the break?
He's shooting heads up off the break.
Heads up.
Yeah, heads up. Down the wire. It's really easy then, especially if you can fill out semi-quickly from the can to the Dorito 1 for your back center player to come over to that can and you guys to work together and hopefully 3 amigos over here on the snake side can make it happen. It's a nice, easy move to go from the center tower or the snake tower to the god, or depending on how many kills you get off the break, should you get a kill on the snake side, for this guy to hold the lane and tell your back center player to go up to the wall to cut down the snake side. And then from there, your snake player, you should just see each other, let him get farther down the field and apply pressure towards the Doritos.
Corner? Snake corner, what does he do?
Snake corner is looking for, again, you're looking, if you're going to a corner, especially the snake corner, and the time I've had in the field this past weekend, your main objective when you run out to that corner is looking up the middle. You want to call out the wall, and you want to call out the center tower. Because these two guys right here, should your player make it to the snake and play sloppy or just not check off on these guys, can get shot from the wall and the tower, either going inside, outside, or from a bounce shot. There's definitely bounce shots in the snake. I'm sure some of you guys have seen that. Cino, you have a question.
How useful is the Dorito corner from Josh Cunningham?
How useful is the Dorito corner?
From Josh Cunningham.
Hey, Josh Cunningham, thanks for asking the first question of the night. The Dorito corner, I think, is very useful. Again, when you can get out wide, that's always a plus. The one thing I don't like about the Dorito corner is that you can't see your mirror. You can't see down the wire. The two Doritos on the 50, on either side of the 50. Uh-oh. Well, it looks like we're still live. I don't know. What are the other people saying anything? Speak up if you guys are having any issues. Okay, we're good. So let's move for Josh. Let's move to the Dorito play, the next play.
One other question.
Fire away.
Let's see. Stand by.
Standing by. No other question?
Just lost it.
You lost it. Uh-oh. But yeah, I mean, Josh Cunningham, if you can still hear me, the Dorito corner, I don't like it quite as much when you run out because I think it's easier for the person that's going for the wall to kind of lose you. Not to say that there's no value in it. The next play that I've drawn up, a generic just Dorito push play, has someone going to that corner. And any time you can get wide, especially on a field like this, I mean, if you look from the back center, there's a big lane through the Doritos on the corner. And then the one thing I haven't really talked about is on either side of the back center, you could easily step off the box and ghost out and delay out, and you have great lanes on both corners. And I think, just in my opinion, from playing the layout this past weekend, you have better lanes on the Dorito corner because you can shoot on either side of this big Dorito. And I think to me, as a point of reference for that Dorito and anyone going to that corner, it's a lot easier as opposed to the God on the snake side, where it's a little farther forward, and people, depending on your depth perception, can run deeper and have an easier time making it to the snake corner, if that makes sense. Yes, Cena.
Spot in the snake to kill the Dorito 3.
Best spot in the snake to kill the Dorito 3. Can we go to the next play so we can move some? Kevin Kavanaugh. Okay, so let's just best spot in the snake 3, and I'm going to assume the snake 3 for you means
no, best spot to kill the Dorito 3.
the little Dorito.
The little Dorito from the snake.
From the snake, well, you're parallel with the Dorito 3 if you're in their snake 2, and their snake 2 to me is the first mini wall. I mean, you're absolutely parallel with that guy. You're straight across the field. The pins are inset. The tower's not in your way. And you essentially would have him dead to rights. The only other shot you're going to have maybe is in your snake 1 if you back up and you can put it on the outside of the pin in. But I don't think that shot's there. You might catch them if you're in the 50. There's a lot of arrows here. Can you move to the Dorito play? Cena? Yeah. The last play 4.
Play 4.
Yeah, so you can see from both their snake 2 and essentially the 50 snake, you're going to have some lanes on them. But in my opinion, right, if you're that far down the snake, I'm guessing that there's probably either someone in the corner or no one in the corner, and you're free. I would suggest to you that you play the tape, and you control the tape, and you work it so you have a guy that comes behind you and can get those kills. I wouldn't so much worry about that crossfield shot just yet. I mean, obviously, if you get to their snake, the first thing you're going to want to do, because you're parallel with that person, is pop up and shoot, because he has something to hide behind, which is the angle of that Dorito on the inside. You have nothing to hide behind unless you're going to come all the way out to the outside of their snake, but that would mean there's no one in the God, the corner, or essentially the back center, because they'll shoot you on the outside of their snake. That makes sense?
Where do we think the heaviest amount of kills are going to take place? The Dorito side or the snake side?
Well, that depends on where people.
Repeat the question.
Can you say it one more time?
Where do we think the most amount of kills will come from? The Dorito side or the snake side?
So the question is, who?
Chris Martin.
Chris Martin's. Your question is, where do we think the most amount of kills are going to come from? The snake side or the Dorito side? I guess I don't know if it's a smart ass answer, but it would depending on where the guys go. I think on this field there are great lanes off the break, and it's going to be up to your guys, taking a step out and looking to see which way that team is looking to run. There are people that are in their opinion that they're going to think that the snake side is the push side, right? And they're going to get a lot of kills from the snake. They very well might. It just depends on what your opponents are doing. I think you can get a lot of kills from either side of the field. That, and even up the center and the wall. If people are playing sloppy, you can sit deep off the wall, right? As long as you're controlling their snake and there's no one in the snake, you can sit deep off here and just wait for people to make the move from the corner, the Dorito 1 or the Dorito 2, down the field. You can sit deep and ghost off here and not get shot by the corner or the God, as long as they're not in the snake, right? Because once they come into the snake, if you're playing a little bit too loose, they can shoot you in the back. But you can sit deep off here and you can shoot and just wait for this guy to go from D1 to D2 or from the corner up. And they can't really check you off because they have to worry about the guys that are heads up with them. If that makes sense. We got X's and O's now.
Show the lanes on this?
Yeah, well, let's bring that guy to the back center. Let's go over this play really quick. This is the last one I kind of drew up. It's just a Dorito push play. And again, there's so many little variables to this as to stepping out and shooting a lane and then scooting into the can and even the tower. But on this play, you're going to have your first body going to the snake tower. He's going to be playing heads up. He's going to shoot for the runner. you're going to have a player run to the Dorito 2 on the break, and that's just up to your Dorito runner, from playing the layout this last weekend and experimenting the layout this weekend. If he likes to go up and over, right, straight through in front of the first can, or if he wants to go deep and come around the Dorito 1, either on the inside or the outside. That's completely up to him. But the thing that he wants to look for, obviously, is always keep your head up, even if you're running this up and over play, to look to see what's in front of you, right? There's no need for you just to keep your head down the whole way. So it's like seeing it just go out, which is really sweet. I like that, how it just pops up like that. It's kind of cool to go up and over. Or the opposite of that would be going around the can on the inside or the outside of the Dorito 1 and making your way to the Dorito 2. But we want to get out there right away to establish the shorter lane for the back center and their Dorito players to shoot at. You're going to put a body into the Dorito corner to draw the guns out wide so your player going to the Dorito 2 can make it. And then as well, try and look up the middle to see if anyone goes to the wall. And then lastly, you're going to have the back center player, and I would have him shoot left on the break. Alternatively, if you like the cross shots, because there are some cross shots from the can in the tower, you can have your back center shoot snake side on the break, and the tower can step out using the wall and the tower to block out the snake side and put a lane on the Dorito 1, and then slide quickly into the snake tower. As soon as he does that, he tells the back center what he saw went left or towards the Dorito side, and the back center tells him who's wide and how far they made it out to the snake side. Making sense so far for you fine folks at home? Got any more questions?
Let's go over the snake off the break play. I got
Okay.
some questions about snake off the break.
So we're going to go back to the snake off the break play.
Let me kill all this. Yeah, snake off the break play. How do you play it?
Okay, so snake off the break, snake off the break or a snake push play, which you can alter. The reason why I'm saying go snake off the break, especially in practice, is just force the other team to shoot you. In watching practice footage this past weekend, you can go and you can watch Impact, you can watch Infamous, you can watch X Factor. Who else did we see? I think there was some footage of the Tampa Bay Damage Aftershock and PC Katana practice. Teams are taking the snake off the break all day long, and I think in practice, go there and run and shoot keep your head up. And I did it at practice, so again, I'm going to say if I can do it, you can do it. But get there on the break, and the big thing to look for your snake runner and your corner runner and your guy in the tower in the back center is if they did not go wide. If you do not see the other team go wide to the snake corner or the snake, it means one of two things. One, it means your snake player has some freedom to go down the tape, right? Either on the inside, cutting through the little loop-de-loop of the little cakes and the mini walls. Okay, and the other thing it means is if no one goes wide, and I'm saying wide, we'll say wide is the god, the corner, or the snake, that there's probably someone at the wall. Okay, is that making sense?
Yeah, let me put it.
I'm trying to, yeah, okay.
So what are you saying where they're going to be?
I'm saying if the big thing to look for on the snake push play, especially if you're going on the break, is for your guys that are heads up on the snake side, so your snake runner, your corner, or your god, and the tower, is to see how wide the opponents go on the snake side. If they don't go to the corner or the snake, right, what that means is that your snake player has freedom to go down the tape, because the only thing that can shoot you heads up down the tape is going to be the corner, because he can see mirror to mirror and he can see the outside of the mini walls of the snake knuckles, and the snake, obviously. He's going to be in there with you. He has the same shots as you do. So if you make the corner and you make the snake and they don't go wide to either the snake or the corner, if they don't match you up, you have freedom to go down the snake. Okay? Now the second thing that pops in my head is if they don't go to the god, if I don't see a player go god, snake, or corner, that probably means that there's someone at the wall. And if I'm treating this layout as if I'm playing towards the snake side, I know that my opponents are shooting right-handed towards the Doritos. So chances are most teams, when they play, their back center player is always shooting with his dominant hand. And I don't know what the percentage of dominant people with right hands are, but it's a lot.
Ian Wilson, how often do you think you'll have players at the snake off the break?
Ian Wilson? Mm-hmm. Oh, Ian, I'm going to send you every point off the break. I know where you're going.
What percentage do you think people will take snake off the break?
Are we talking about pro?
Yeah.
Man, I would think if I'm looking at Houston Heat with Chad George and Fedorov, even Ryan DeZan, if I'm looking at Impact with Dalton, Keith, and Mouse, I would say probably 70% of the time. Look at X Factor, Billy Bernaccia. right? That Billy Bernaccio will go to the snake until he gets shot. Ryan Brand will send him and send him and send him. I mean, you have to force these guys, force the other team to shoot you. And, just watching in practice, the points that X Factor and Infamous were playing, Thomas Taylor was saying taking the snake off the break. Kovar took the snake on the break. Billy took the snake on the break. And now that's to say, obviously it was raining and we're using practice paint. There's no refs out there. But, the one point I want to get across in this percentage, not in the game, is you're not going to know if you don't do it. Like, you should never say to yourself at practice, well, I might get shot. Well, yeah, you might get shot. That's just part of the game. It's practice. Force the other guys to shoot you. Keep your head up. And when you keep your head up and you look downfield, good players become great players when they see things on the field and they react to them the right way. So if you're that snake guy and you're running to the snake and you see that no one goes to the snake corner, or better yet, you see as you're running to the snake, the guy that's going to the snake corner gets shot early and puts his hand up. Okay, that's kill one. That's G1. That's shock one. So he's walking off the field, so he's not going to be wide. Your guy in the corner makes it, and he's calling out a Spider-Man or a super, meaning, hey, the snake side's free, you can go down the field. Then you have that instant call in your head that knows, hey, I can make that move down the snake. There's no one wide. It's G1. My back guys are calling, hey, there's a God. Okay, what's my best shot on the God? When I get to the snake, 2, what can I wrap and shoot, right? Did my snake corner guy, if I ask him, hey, is there a wall? Do I hear a Godzilla call or a wall call? These are all the things that, you have to process and take in a matter of seconds, but will make you go from being a mediocre player to a great player by processing all that information, plugging in these pieces, and reacting to them the correct way. Which might sound complex, but
do you think
I think you guys are good.
A bounce shot to look for in the snake and explain a bounce shot?
Do I think there is a bounce shot to look for in the snake and explain the bounce shot? We're zooming in on the snake. There are definitely, from the layout that I played, there are definitely some bounce shots. If you're in the snake 2, or let's call it the snake 3, there were some bounce shots coming in. We're scaling it here. We're making some moves happen off this little cake in here. I know when I went to the snake on the break and I played the snake 2, I crawled in there. There were shots coming off the edge of this little cake. Now it could just be, hey, the layout that we played, it wasn't set up perfectly. But these are things that you get to the field before everybody else. As long as everyone's got their goggles on, all you need is like a pot or two, a loader, and then your buddy just to go in there and walk the field and line up these shots to see where the bounces are. But definitely off the snake 3, the little cake, into the snake 4. And I'm going snake 1 is the pin, snake 2 is the first mini wall, snake 3 is the cake, snake 4 would be the second mini wall, essentially at the 50. But there definitely are some bounce shots, especially if you think you can crawl around on the inside. People can just bounce shots in here off the mini wall when you're coming in. My suggestion would be just have someone go into the snake and have guys set up in. If you can zoom out a little bit.
Yeah.
Have guys go to the center tower here, and have a guy go to the snake tower and even the back center, and just drop some paint in there off stuff and see where it bounces. Right? You don't need any more than a pod and a loader to go in there and test some bounce shots and see where paint bounces. And then this is coming. You need this information from your snake guys to hold themselves accountable. Say, hey, if you're in there, man, hey, man, there's definitely a bounce shot. Whoever was shooting that, it was sweet. It was coming in off of a little cake, and it was bouncing into me. Again, I only played the snake maybe once for sure on the break, but I heard a lot of the Boom guys saying that there were some bounce shots. I'll see if I can hit up McShane from Boom. I know he was getting in there and getting crazy. To see what he thought. But there are definitely some bounce shots in there, and it just takes you to walk the field and look at it. And don't just say, yeah, it looks like there's a bounce shot. Well, put 50 balls in your loader and shoot it and see where those balls go and put someone in there. It's the best way to test it. Trial by fire. Looking for some more questions.
Okay. Do you think, by Wayne DeVault, do you think snake is too much of an island to be effective, or is that a benefit?
I think the snake is too much of an island to be a benefit, or is that effective? Yeah. I'm trying to follow that question.
Do you think the snake being so far off to get to and it being on its own little island, do you think that is a benefit, or is it going to be effective?
Well, I think it's effective, right? I mean, if you think the snake is too far off, and then they run to the snake on the break and you don't, and he makes it and you don't shoot him, and then he crawls all the way down your snake and shoots people in the back, then it's definitely effective. I think that you're gonna, again, if you're playing this game and say you go god to god, tower to tower, back center to back center. Well, if their snake insert puts you in and goes to the snake, what's your next move? To follow them up. You're going to wrap on their snake tower and you're going to try and make the move into the snake. So I don't think it's an island at all. And again, in my mind, I'm treating this as if I'm playing Dynasty. If I'm lined up on this field and I see that it's Kyle Spica and Alex Frazier over there, and Kyle, I think Kyle's going to go the snake on the break, I have to treat that as if, hey man, if he goes to snake on the break and our play isn't to go there, one is a back player, I have to put my paint there, right, anticipate his move, and then I have to let my guys know that, hey man, I think Kyle's going to try and make that move into the snake. Maybe we audible it, maybe you go there on the break, or hey, you shoot low for the snake and let's double lane him and try and stop it from going. I definitely think it's not an island. I think that, in a week from now, March 17th through the 19th, we're going to see a lot of people, pro and even divisional players, take that snake on the break a lot and be very effective.
Colgate or Crest?
For toothpaste?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I use something different. Huh?
Repeat the question.
Colgate or Quest? Crest?
Colgate or Justin Bedford asked, do you use Colgate or Crest?
Hold on one second. Colgate, baby. Colgate. Yeah. Right there.
Nick Kakuza would like to know, Nick, what can I do to be as amazing as you?
Well, Kakuza, you don't be a little bitch. I'm just kidding, Nick. I love you. I guess we're gonna keep this. Maybe that's PG-13. I don't know if that's an R. Yeah, Kakuza, maybe grow a beard if you can. That would help. To be cool. Anything else, or we're gonna get silly?
You have 1 minute. You're down 1 point. What do you do if you're about to make a play? So let's start a new play.
I like this. So the question or the situation here is we're down 1 minute, or we're down by one. There's 1 minute left, and we have to tie the game. So I would have a snake on the break. I would have the tower, but I would have him edge. I'd have him step out. So yeah, right there is perfect, and I'd have him shoot. So when you step out and you use their tower to kind of block you out, you have a good vantage point. I do, at least. Yeah, you're looking through here to shoot. Double the back center, shooting either way. Okay. And then you're going to have a guy go to the Dorito 1, running and shooting heads up. Right? And so what's going to happen here, snake on the break right away. The player that is stepping out, and he's going to be shooting wide. Take the back center arrow and put it out here to the corner. Perfect. So snake on the break, no secret about that. Like the dude's going to snake on the break. He's going to look to get down it fast. This guy that is stepping out here, off to the snake side, he's going to shoot over the pins into the god, and essentially you're going to shoot 6 balls, right? Because by the time you step out and put that paint over there, this guy's either going to be diving into the corner, to the snake, or to the god. Okay, and then you're immediately going to go from, that's who you're looking at there. As soon as you shoot that shot, you're going to fill out based on what you see, either the god or the tower. I would say to the god, because you're going to follow up your snake guy right away. The player, and this is to say it's.
Where does he shoot after he gets in?
Heads up. You're just playing heads up. You're playing heads up based off of what you see the other team do, especially if you get a kill. Back center is shooting for the snake or the corner. I would think in this case, if you have a minute left, your opposing team is going to want to try and go wide. In this case, since we're starting down here, they're left-handed. They might go short, but you're going to put your first couple balls over the pins towards the god, and then you're going to switch it out to the corner. As soon as that happens, you're immediately going to go from the back center up to the tower or the wall. The player that's playing snake side. Dorito side, this player here is not so much going to be in the back center as he's going to, just like the snake guy from the tower did, he's going to step out and he's going to shoot heads up in this lane between the D1, between the can and the D1. I would say your first ball is when you come out off the box, when you're raising your gun up off here. So if I'm running out left this way, I'm on the box, I'm going to put my first couple of balls over the pin so they go on the inside of these cans. But then immediately I'm going to switch and shoot low for the guy diving into the Dorito 1. And then my player going to the Dorito 1 is going to come out to the Dorito 1, shooting. He's going to go low. He's going to wrap on this can right here, right? Looking, obviously, pay attention to make sure they don't go to the corner. And then you're going to go to the Dorito 2. As soon as this player shoots his lane, it's going to happen really quick. He's going to go to the can, and they're just going to leapfrog down the field. I'm hoping with all these bodies stacked up here, obviously my main goal, I probably should say this right away, is getting a kill on the break, right? If I'm shooting with these two guys here, I've got most of my focus on the Dorito, or on the snake side, right, for the runner, because I think the snake corner is killer, and if you have a guy that's there, he can just sit there and live. You have to really get far down the Doritos to shoot this guy, but putting pressure down the tape, and then putting pressure cross field from the Dorito 4. And then you're going to have two guys essentially heads up playing the Dorito side. So I would hope that you know, with the three guns that are essentially on the two guns shooting snake side, you get a kill on either the god or the corner, and that allows your snake guy to be free. Say your snake guy dies on the break, it's up to your guy in the tower to get out wide and press that way, and then your wall player, you know, I'm guessing maybe within a minute they might have a wall too. Obviously, if you hear that you got a guy on the other side of you, you got to go take him out. If that happens, it wouldn't be too hard for your player in the back that's in the snake tower to fill back up that way. The biggest thing that I would stress in a 1 minute drill situation is realize a minute is actually a lot of time. It's not like, oh man, a minute, you know, a lot can happen in the first 10 seconds. And a lot generally tends to in points like this. So just, you know, take a deep breath, be calm, focus on what your game plan is, and then just pay attention to those bodies walking up the field. And someone's got to keep their eye on the clock. Hopefully that made sense to you. That'll be $10.
White asked the opposite. If you're on the opposite end and you need to burn a minute, you need to do a hold play, basically. A
hold play. Well, I say what do they say? The best defense is a good offense. I think on a field like this, again, if there's a minute left in the game and you're up by one and you want to hold, I would have two guys back center, again, stepping out and shooting these lanes. I would go to the snake corner, not to the snake. So let's go snake corner. We'll go Dorito 1, not Dorito, not going to go Dorito corner. Dorito 1, we'll go tower on the break. Yeah, and then these two bodies here are essentially going to shoot from the break, but the Dorito side guy is going to step out, and he's going to use that step out to put paint in between the can and the Dorito 1 and the Dorito 2, right? When you step out here, you can see the lane in front of the Dorito 2. There's a good lane to the corner, and you just have to pick where you're going to shoot. On the flip side of that, if you wanted, instead of going to the Dorito 1, you can take this guy and have him go to the can and make that quick move into the Dorito 1. But I would rather have him get wide so you can get your body from the back center out. The one thing that you have to stress here in these situations, especially now that the wall has been in play, is you have to assume that there's somebody up there. I don't know quite as of yet if I would send someone up there to counter that. But again, in running out to the snake corner, it's his job to look inside to see if that body goes there into the wall. His job is when you go to the snake corner is to look in. The guy that goes to the snake tower, your job is not to sit there and wait. Okay, you're not just going to sit here and hold. You're going to get to the god. You're going to play heads up. You're going to see what's out here. And a big telltale sign is if they don't go snake on the break or corner, there's probably someone at the wall playing towards the snake side. And again, this goes back to if you're right-handed a certain way. You know, most players, when they play a strong side, it's their back center shooting right-handed. So just take that into account, right? Even when players go up to the wall. They typically play to their strengths with just running and shooting with the right hand or going up to the right side and playing that way. So if you're these 5 red boxes and you're going right-handed to the snake, they're right-handed Dorito side. So if someone's going up to the wall for them, they might feel more comfortable running to the right side and up and playing towards your Doritos. Does that make sense? I don't know if you can hit thumbs up or
you're getting
a heart.
This is great info stuff.
Okay. I like to think I know what I'm talking about, but you know, hey. We'll see. What else we got? Anything?
A couple of questions with regards to the wall. What are the benefits? Like, does it shut down a certain side?
So the thing that I noticed big time and this past weekend playing with Boom at O'Hare Paintball in Chicago is when you go to the wall, and here let's back up just a little bit. When you go to the wall here and you're dominating a lane, like you can see from if you've played the wall, and it's if let's say the Dorito side, we'll start with the Dorito side first. You can see when you're playing not the window, but you're playing the actual Dorito side, the edge. You can see both sides of the back left, the Dorito corner, and you can at least I could on the layout we played, the way things were set up, and you could see both sides of the Dorito 1 and the Dorito 2. So the thing that I stress the most is if you set up a play, and this goes to the same thing to the snake side, even though you can't see the inside really we couldn't see the inside of the god. Is to bait that guy to go. if you go up there and you're waiting, tell your guys that are playing heads up on the D side, right, to let that guy go, right? It's going to be these guys on the Dorito side that don't check you off first, and that's how you're going to get your kill. But if you send a guy to the can in the corner in the Dorito 1 or the Dorito 2, and they're just playing out of their minds, just gunfighting the guys in front of them, and you're posted that way, well, they're obviously not going to go, right? So if they can see, right, if they can see that you made it up to the wall and you're posted, and that's the game plan, you go to the wall and you're posted Dorito side, and you know that there's a body over here, right, and you'll be able to see their paint coming down the tape or even the tip of their barrel. The guys on your team need to know that, hey, let's let this guy go, and you just sit there and wait for him. If you're tall enough, there are a few shots through the windows on the Dorito side where you can catch the guy in the can if they're playing sloppy. I did see a few people at practice, they would go slow to this can, they would delay there, and then guys were getting quick to this window and they were catching him sitting deep off the can because they thought they were safe. They'd catch the back of their left leg or their pack hanging out of the can. So there's definitely some shots there. But you just have to set the game plan up, especially on the Dorito side, I think, just off this first practice, to bait that guy to go. Some players like to just go. They like to get there, shoot a couple balls, and dip in. You just have to be set up to shoot that. And it's up to you, if you want to go balls to the wall, so to speak, and just, shoot your gun. On the flip side of things, if we go over to the snake side, from the wall player, now, when we played this, the way the pin was set up from the wall, it was a little hard to see the inside of the god, right? You could see the outside of it, but you couldn't see the inside of it. If you played tall through the window, you could see the inside of it, and you had a small sliver on the outside of the god going to the snake. So you can definitely shoot the guy going from the god in, but the big thing that has to happen here, especially if you're mirrored up in the god, if you have your player in the god and they have a player in the god, is if your player that's in the god, either baits him or says, hey man, he's going to go, right? He's got me in. That's when you need to get on your gun, right? Don't wait to see that guy, right? Because if I'm playing against Keith Brown moves so fast from the god into the snake 1 that by the time I hear that he's got him in, I'm probably going to miss that shot if I pull the trigger late, or if he miscommunicates it, right? So I think on the snake side, you're going to want to have your gun up and posted right away. You can sit low and post up on the tower, but the big thing I feel on the snake side is if you know they don't go snake on the break, you know that they don't go to the corner, and you know that they're not in the god, that there's probably someone on the other side of the wall with you. It's a little bit harder on the Dorito side because they can go to the can, they can double the can up, and they can go to Dorito 1 pretty easy. But your spider senses have to be going off when you're on the snake side if you don't see a corner, god, or snake. There's probably someone at the wall or the center tower. And that's why I stress a lot going out to the snake corner to look in to see if you can see those guys filling up. Does that satisfy does that make sense to you guys? Mm-hmm. Out there? No one's going to want me to do clinics anymore because I'm talking about all this stuff. All right. How we doing? We're going to wrap it up. Okay, guys. So, again, this was a little test. Apologize for the darkness there as it's, 9:21 here in Dallas. But we will be doing this again. If you do have any more questions or comments, you can post them below when this posts up, or just send us some messages on Facebook. We appreciate all your questions, comments, and love. Again, coming up March 17th to the 19th, first NXL event of the year in Las Vegas. Tune in to GoSports.com for that hot action. And then live tomorrow, we're going to have a little bracket breakdown, first look, going over brackets B, C, and D, the pro brackets. Cena and I will sit down and have a little chit-chat about that. So,
Fanwagon.
Oh, yeah, my Fanwagon. Go in there, dude, guys, and make your picks. It's free. And there's, from what I'm hearing from Cena, you can win stuff from GI Sports, Loaders, Vanquish GT. Later on in the year, we're going to have other Empire EVS. Is it going to have the HUD?
No.
No, it's just the regular EVS. I got to wear one of those for the first time the other day. Those are pretty comfortable. Lots of great prizes being donated by our sponsors. So go ahead and go to myfanwagon.com. Randy Stanzik, go check out his post. He's got a lot of predictions up there. So Go Sports, March 17th to the 19th, NXL Las Vegas, event number 1 coming at you. Thanks, guys. And let me just kind of move over here and do a little spin. We'll close this out. Hey, what's up? Thank you for tuning in.
Well, I was born too late to play against the pros. I don't know. never met Rennick Miller standing with a Mac. I'm paintball's fastest gun. Go out, get funky, get painted, have fun. Don't got $1 million, don't drive a Cadillac. Give me half a chance, cause I'm not dead yet.